step by step on business. That's on my mama, watch me spin on me and split, now I can't feel it. We in the trap, we sold the city on my biddy. Take these diamonds off and show you how we lit it.
What up, what up, what up, y'all? Welcome back to our second episode of Before the Horn podcast. As y'all know, I am your host, Dino. With me hosting too, I got my boy Khalil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back for part two. Let's get it.
And I got my boy Day.
Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Man, we got some nice stuff going on here. First of all, I want to say I'm really happy with the fan interaction that we got and all the feedback that we was getting from our first episode. We really love it. We wanted to keep coming back, keep letting us know what y'all think, y'all do's and don'ts, what y'all like and what y'all don't like. But for our topics today, we're going to be covering Colorado leaving the Pac-12 and the Pac-12's future after they leave. Also, we're going to be covering the most overrated team that we think is going into the 2023 NFL season. We got our top 5 O-line groups that we think is going into the 2023 NFL season. On top of that, we got who's the biggest threat to the Team USA in the FIBA World Cup. And we also got a bit of the Jake Paul and the Nate Diaz fight. We're going to be talking about that too. So, Dave, we could kick this away.
All right. So earlier last week, Colorado had announced that they will be leaving the Pac-12 come the 2024-2025 season. It's Pac-12 fading away. I mean, hey, Deion came from Jackson State. He said he's bringing his baggage. He said the baggage is Louis Vuitton. Not no basic stuff. But besides Colorado, let's talk about the whole Pac-12 as a whole. All right, it used to be called the Pac-10 back then. Then they expanded and became the Pac-12. With Colorado planning on leaving in 2024, what is the Pac-12 becoming? Is it fading away? Khalil, I'm gonna let you kick this one off, bro.
Well, first I'm gonna touch on the Colorado situation. I mean, you're losing a big name in Deion Sanders, but you're also losing a team since joining the Pac-12 has won 28% of their Pac-12 games. Like, let's be real. Like, they have been one of the most irrelevant teams in the Pac-12 since joining the Pac-12. They've only made one bowl game since joining the Pac-12 in 2011. So from that standpoint, unless Deion makes a bunch of noise this season, draw a lot of attention and, win games, I don't think they would be solely missed that much. They haven't really been a good football team in recent history anyways. But the issue with the Pac-12 right now is that they only have 9 teams committed for 2024 season. And the Big 12 is also pushing hard to get Arizona to flip. So that's another thing that's putting them in trouble. But the Big 10 is also offering Oregon, Washington, and Stanford, and Cal. They're all interested in them 4 teams trying to get them over to the Big 10 as well. For me personally, I don't think it makes sense to have 20 teams within the Big 10. That just seems like way too many teams in the conference.
Big 20.
It's gonna be a big 20.
Like
it's the Big 20.
It just doesn't make sense, bro. It just like from a team standpoint, a competition standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. But I mean, if the Pac-12 wants to save its face, you have to keep Oregon, Washington home within conference. They're looking to add teams like SDSU, SMU, Boise. Those would be some good teams to bring into the conference. And what they really need right now, and they've been in talks with Apple. Apple has been interested in getting a TV deal with them. That's what they need. That's where a lot of these teams are getting their revenue from, is these TV deals. SEC got one, Big 10 got one, Big 12 got one. It's time for Pac-12 to get one. It's surprising that they didn't at this point. They got their own network, yes, but they need a TV deal. They need extra revenue. That's the main reason why these teams are leaving. So from that standpoint, I don't think Colorado leaving is a big deal as people making it seem, because let's be real, Colorado was just irrelevant until they hired Deion. So they haven't
100%.
even played a football game. They haven't played a football game of relevance in years. So, like, I don't think that's the big deal. The big deal is if these teams like Oregon, Washington, Stanford, Cal, if they decide to leave, now you're really in trouble from that standpoint.
All right, Dino, I'm gonna let you go next, bro.
I mean, I got a couple different things to really say about the situation. My answer was honestly, it was flip-flopped. It was a little bit of yes and a little bit of no, but I will finalize it with no. But I'm gonna give y'all my reason why I feel like it was yes. and Khalil, you already talked on this, is mainly just because of what Deion brings as far as views, as far as fans and everything else. He's gonna be bringing. He was gonna be bringing a lot to the Pac. When he first got there, my first reaction was, "All right, the Pac might be on their way back. They might be on their way back." We know how dominant the Pac-12 was about 7, 8, 10 years ago. The USCs, the Oregons, the Washingtons, those was all dominant teams back
Stanford's.
then. Stanford was even dominant. They're super irrelevant. I mean, Colorado, they have never been relevant since they got there. You brought this up before. And truthfully, they're not going to lose much with losing Colorado because it's not really a team that brought anything to the Pac. They didn't bring any type of competition. It's not like they was a team to beat, like they was contending for anything. It really made no sense. But as far as the Pac's future, I feel like their future might be a little bit more bright with them teams leaving. Now we know they have a lot of teams leaving. You said they only got 9 that's committed to the 2024 season. But for the ones that may be coming up, they have a lot of room to bring in more teams now. For instance, the Fresno States, who they was talking to before Mike make that jump up, who's had multiple 10-win seasons in the last couple of years. SDSU has had multiple 10-win seasons in the last couple of years. They're teams that can jump to that Power 5 level, and they have beaten Power 5 teams. So it's not like they can't. And for somebody that played Cali JUCO, you know them Pac teams are the first ones that come knocking on the door. For what I've seen, the reason that kids don't go to these smaller schools like SDSU and the Fresno States, the San Jose States, even the smaller schools in Washington and all them other places, the reason that kids don't go there is just because they're not Power 5. There's not really too much of a big difference between SDSU and UCLA when it comes to talent. I'm going to be honest with you. I think SDSU will go to UCLA and they will give them a run for their money. And that's just a fact. What you making faces for? That's it, bro.
I live in San Diego. I went to a San Diego State game a couple times, bro. No, it's not even close.
Bro,
it's not even close, bro. Stop.
I'm not tweaking.
Stop it.
I'm not tweaking, bro. I played against a lot of them UCLA players and seen a lot of them UCLA players, bro. And I've seen a lot of them SDSU players too, bro. They can compete. I can promise they can compete, bro. They can compete.
They can play football against them. They're not winning no game against UCLA.
Did I say?
You talking about a team? You're talking about a team that played in a Power 5 conference.
Wait. When did I once just say they was gonna win? Run that back. I didn't say that. I said they will go there and compete. They will give them a run for their money.
You need teams that's gonna win.
I never once said that they would never. I don't.
Bro, you said they have the same.
Bro, you have to grow into that team. You have to grow into that team. Yeah, they got similar talent. They have similar talent.
The same talent as UCLA.
They have similar talent, bro. They have similar talent, bro.
Stop it.
They have similar. I never said they was gonna win. I said they're gonna go compete.
You just said they're as talented. So
they're gonna get wrecked.
So they're going to compete. What are you talking about, bro? They're gonna compete.
Bro, they're not. They're not on UCLA level.
They're not on their level.
They're not on UCLA.
You're talking about a Power 5 school versus a school that plays the Mountain West Conference.
A Power 5 10-win school.
So what?
Power 5 10-win school.
So what?
Yeah, they can go compete with Colorado. Then they
so what? UCF did it. If UCF did it, why can't SDSU do it?
They're not
UCF
doing
did it.
anything.
UCF did it, and you was on UCF nuts for the longest. You was on UCF nuts for the longest. For them being a group of 5 school and competing with Power 5, so why can't SDSU do it? Make it make sense, bro.
SDO is not that good.
Yes, they are. What do you mean? Bro, they had 10-win seasons. How are they not that good? What do you mean?
Bro, they play a team like UCLA, they're going to get wrecked, bro. You're talking about a team that plays in a Power 5 conference versus a team that plays in a Mountain West conference. The talent level is not even on the same level, bro. It's not even close. They're not going to compete. They're going to go in there, they're going to get clapped by like 20 or 30.
Still Division I football, bro. At the end of the day, bro, UCLA's not that talented, bro. They're not that talented, bro. They're not that talented.
Georgia and SDSU is both Division I.
Exactly. Georgia will kill SDSU.
Georgia is way more talented. Georgia is way more talented, bro. I'm talking about UCLA. I didn't say USC. I didn't say Utah. I said UCLA for a reason because they're not that talented, bro. What do you mean?
Yes, they are.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, they are.
All right, continue.
All right. Like I was saying, bro, these teams that's coming up will and can compete in the Pac-12, like I said, If they bring Boise up, Boise's gonna compete with Power 5 schools. They can bring Fresno up. Fresno already showed that they could compete with Power 5 schools, and so has SDSU. So, like I said, they could come up and they could get in that conference and they could actually ball and they could open doors for other athletes and other players to come up and play at that Power 5 level. And that's just what it is.
All right, well, I'm gonna end this one off, man. After that spiciness right there. So Colorado, they are going to the Big 12, but honestly, I agree with y'all. Like, Colorado has never bought nothing to Pac-12 anyway. Only way it's gonna be really relevant, honestly, in my opinion, is like Khalil said, if Deion coming in and really turn thing up with the transfers like Travis Hunter and there's other guys that's coming in from high school or that transfer from Jackson State. Now, Deion is bringing a lot of noise. He's bringing a lot of attention.
Yes.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Let's not get it twisted. But when I heard Arizona might be following them to the Big 12, I'm like, nah. Okay, so honestly, I just personally think the Pac-12 is going to die down unless teams like SMU, SDSU, Colorado State, Boise State, unless those guys move from their current conferences and move to the Pac-12 and expand the Pac-12 a little bit. Like right now, they only have 9 teams, so you need a couple more teams in that conference to make it relevant still. TV deals are also a big deal. Out of the Power 5 schools, Pac-12 is like one of the most least paid TV deals. The Big Ten and SEC and ACC, they're running away with it. It's not even close. But also, again, the talent level over in those conferences is a pretty big difference. But honestly, I feel like the Pac-12, they gotta, in order to stay relevant, they gotta get extra teams added in that conference to stay relevant. Will teams be as good as your Colorados if Deion make noise, as your Arizonas? Probably not. But again, like Dino said again, at the end of the day, it's still Division I football. But talent gap is a real thing. But that's all I gotta say about that.
You gotta recruit, bro. You gotta recruit, bro. That's why I was bringing it up. That's the whole reason I brought it up, because I've seen a lot of them, a lot of kids that was talented, pick schools like UCLA and USC and sit the bench because they're just Power 5. But you could go to another school and actually get a chance at playing. It's going to take a couple years to recruit. You got to get up to that level. Just like James Madison. They're going to end up getting up to an FBS level too. They're at the FBS level. They might be getting smoked right now. But once a couple years of that kick in, bro, the recruits are going to come in. The people, the more like everything is going to be better for them.
I'm sorry, bro. It's still levels to it, bro. We're talking about big brands now, bro. Like when you come into college football and you talk about USC, UCLA, teams like that, that's like going to the Big Ten and talk about Ohio State, Penn State, and comparing them
Michigan.
to Rutgers and Northwestern. That's like, okay, Rutgers and Northwestern are in a Big Ten too, but nobody going to them schools. I'll tell you that. Kids in
Jersey. Ain't going to no Indiana. Exactly. They ain't going to no Indiana games.
But they have. I'm not bringing up Northwestern. I don't got nothing to say about Northwestern, but I will say Rutgers has gotten better. Rutgers has gotten better.
They're still not on the Big Ten level.
Still not that good.
They're still not competing on the Big Ten level. They're a big brand.
They're not the worst in the Big Ten. They're not the worst.
Send Rutgers to the Pac-12.
So what is it? So what's the definition of competing? What's your definition of competing on a Big Ten level? Only being able to beat teams like Michigan. Rutgers has
being relevant and giving those teams a run.
Able to win the conference.
You have to be able
having a chance to win in that conference.
Rutgers has beaten Michigan before, though. They has beaten Michigan before.
They have never came close to winning that conference. That's what it comes down to.
They've been at the bottom of the Big Ten for years.
Nobody cares about the bowl game that's December 15th. No, we care about New Year's Eve bowl games and stuff like that. You're not even getting into those. Like, let's be real. Just because you get into like the Gator Bowl, nobody gives a fuck about that. Let's be real.
So what you're saying is, so what you saying? So you telling me teams like Wake Forest aren't competitors? You telling me teams like Miami aren't competitors? Teams like Florida State's better. Teams
now
like
you're talking about the WASH ACC.
Teams like
Clemson
the ACC.
That's ACC.
Clemson what I'm telling you, trying to tell me that teams that
can't.
You trying to tell me that teams that's not competing for a championship aren't competing in their conference? How does that make sense?
No, I'm saying
how does that
teams
make sense?
That are not competing for a conference championship are not relevant. You're not even relevant in your own conference. And
Rutgers.
You're not. Listen. When Rutgers made that bowl game, after a couple teams dropped out, you know their non-conference schedule came for most of the wins. They didn't come in conference. That's what a lot of these board teams are.
I can't believe y'all saying so when Clemson goes out and gets upset by Syracuse 2 years in a row, Syracuse is still not relevant, but they're upsetting Clemson.
Syracuse won 10
years
games
in a
like
row.
3 years ago.
That's
They
it.
just won 10 games like 3
all
years
right.
That's
ago.
it.
Exactly my point. Yeah,
So
a
when's the
few
last
years
time
ago.
But is
Memphis went
Syracuse
to
relevant
the
in the ACC?
They beat.
No.
They won it that 1 year. The last year that they beat. No, I think it was the year before that. That they
It
beat
was the year
Clemson.
before that.
The year before that they beat Clemson, they was trash.
Did they make an
They was
important
not
bowl
good.
game? Did they make an
It
important
was
bowl
not
game?
good.
Did they make an important bowl game?
Bro.
So
I
important
thought-
bowl
I
games
thought-
are
I
only
thought
New Year's 6 games.
I thought the whole goal of playing a sport is to actually win something and actually compete at a high level and win something. I'm not
That's a
going
fact.
to those small schools to not even compete in a conference and playing some no-name bowl game that nobody's going to watch. Like, come on, let's be for real. Like, you barely watch it. You may turn them on, but you ain't watching it like you watching a New Year's 6 bowl game. Like, let's be for real right now.
That's
Like, come
facts. I'm
on.
telling
You
you, bro.
right. You right, but no, bro.
So what am I
what you-
playing?
what we
There's
talking
only
about?
a handful of
What we talking
teams
about?
that's playing in there's only a handful of teams that's playing in a New Year's 6 bowl game, bro.
But there's
like
a lot
10
of teams that compete.
So
There's a lot of teams that compete.
every other team out of them 10 teams that's not playing, every other team out of them 10 teams that's playing are just irrelevant. They're not worth nothing.
There's a
That's what you're trying to
lot
tell
of
me.
teams that compete. No, there's a lot of
Bro.
teams that compete. It's not about being there every year. Of course, you're not going to be there every year, but can you compete and get there at some point or another? A lot of these smaller teams, like Rutgers, Northwestern, small teams like that, are not even getting.
Not competing.
Indiana, Colorado,
competing.
they're not even.
They're not competing, bro.
Winning bowl, they're not.
Vanderbilt and SEC. Like, why is Vanderbilt still in the SEC?
Smoked every
Sure,
year.
don't even talk
They
about
get clapped
Vanderbilt.
every
We don't
year.
even gotta talk
Okay,
about
so then what we
Vanderbilt.
talk about?
Listen,
So what we talk about
They're
then?
D1.
they're in the
They D1 though.
SEC, bro.
They
There's
D1.
levels to it.
right?
It's levels to it. They're SEC, so they're in the SEC.
The talent
but
got
can't get
it's
SEC
a
talent.
real the talent got
So
They're
what?
in the
So
SEC, but
So
still
I
can't
can't
get
believe
SEC
I
talent.
can't believe somebody who was on UCF like this is really talking about this level to it, bro. When you sitting there, you one of the main people that say, yeah, they want a natty, but it's level.
Then UCF not.
What do you
going
mean,
there.
bro? Stand on what
UFC
you say.
UCF went out there and
Stand on what
beat
you say,
UCF
bro.
actually went out there and beat
Stand on
competitive
what
teams.
you say.
They beat
So
the
UCF
SEC
actually went out there and
team.
beat competitive
They beat an SEC team. Yes, and they lost the next year and they closed games to
They
another
did.
SEC team.
Yeah,
They was
they
competing
did.
with good SEC
They were
teams.
competing. They
It's
were
not
almost
like-
winning those games.
Bro, it's not. Listen,
No, they did. They did compete. Trust
They
me.
were running through their conference and competing with legit Auburn and LSU teams. So don't do that. It's
You
not
can't
like they
compare
were
that,
just
bro.
winning. They were just winning.
No,
BS
they
Small
did.
schools.
I'm giving them.
Running
I'm
through
giving
it.
them mine.
So
I'm
you
giving.
can't compare it,
I'm
bro.
giving them their kudos. They did. They did. And when they moved to the Big 12, they're not going to run the Big 12, but they need to make steps to run the Big 12. Exactly what I'm trying to say with SDSU. If they was to
Bro,
go there, or
No
any of
big
them
name,
schools, bro.
no big name,
Boise,
5-star, 4-star
SDSU,
recruits are going to SDSU.
I'm sorry, bro. Nobody's
wouldn't
going
they,
to
though?
SDSU. Give it
I
up,
They
wouldn't
bro.
want
though.
to be. They want television exposure. They want to win.
If they're
They want a
playing
chance
at
to
a
win
pow-
and compete
if
and get drafted
SDSU went
high.
to the Power 5, why would
Here's
they
the
not
thing.
want to go there?
They
Here's
would
the
not
thing.
even going, bro.
Here's the
That's
thing.
Why would they not
Here's
want
the
to go
thing.
there?
Listen, hear me out. For a kid in Florida to go to a UCF school that's been making noise, not only in football and basketball as well, like they've been making noise. They've been competing with these big teams. SDSU has been competing with Mountain West teams. They have not made too big of a noise against any big Power 5 school teams. Let's be real. At the end of the day, Cali kids are not talking about going to SDSU. They're talking about going to USC, UCLA, Cal.
That's what I'm
Stanford.
But that's
Some of
you are
those
making
schools.
you're making my point right now, bro. You're making my point, literally. You're literally making my point. What I'm trying to tell you is if they was on the Power 5 level, these kids would want to go there. Bro, I play with
I
them.
gotta
What do you
disagree.
mean?
Brand, bro. There's
They
a brand to these teams,
Yo,
I
bro,
disagree.
I know so many kids that's from San Diego that said if SDSU was on that level, they would want to go there. But none
If
of
they were
them
on that
go.
level,
Exactly my point. Oh my
Bro,
God.
listen,
No,
listen,
that's my
listen.
point. They're
I
not
don't
at
think
that
you
level yet. But
understand.
if you put them there, there's gonna be a lot more recruits that's gonna want to go there, bro.
But
It's
I
the
don't think you
same thing.
understand. Let's keep it right. Okay, let's keep it real then. You grew up a Rutgers fan. You grew up going to Rutgers games the whole 9 yards. Don't get me wrong. Rutgers is in the Big Ten, but if Penn State come knocking on your door, who would you rather go to?
Answer that.
We trying to put me.
Exactly.
We trying to put me
Exactly.
under the bus.
because that's the point. That's the point.
But I'm
Because you want more national exposure. You want to win.
Look, listen. Now y'all gonna think I'm lying, but I probably still choose Rutgers. But if you said Ohio
You're
State,
tripping.
if you said Ohio
tripping.
State, y'all know I'm
tripping.
picking Ohio State.
Yeah, you're
But I'm
tripping.
probably no, I'm not.
You're
You're
bugging.
Bro, it's a lot of
tripping.
bro. It's a lot of options. Y'all, bro, y'all not
bugging.
listening. It's a lot of options that come into college freaking recruitment, bro. I would rather stay. I would rather my family to come watch me play at Rutgers, bro. I'm playing on the same level as Penn State. I'm gonna play against Penn State.
And you're gonna lose.
Penn State's not that far
I'm
away.
gonna lose. I'm gonna lose, but
my family.
I'm gonna lose though. I'm probably gonna lose, but I'm probably gonna start on Rutgers, and I'm probably gonna ride the bench for 2 years at Penn State.
I'm just saying. If you're a 4-star, you'd rather go to Rutgers than Penn State. If you're a 4-star,
you're going to Penn State.
Like, come on, bro. Because at the end of the day, if you go to Penn State, listen, I'm not trying to go to school, play my regular season games and end my season. No, I'm actually trying to compete for something. There's a chance that Penn State gets to the Big Ten championship every year. There's a chance
Rutgers,
they're getting
who finish in bottom of the Big Ten.
Like, it's levels to it, bro.
No, what you doing is what you're doing. You're making a point. You are making a point. But what you're not understanding is how much other stuff goes into these recruitment stuff, bro. If that's the case, bro, if that's the case, why would I bet one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, Nico, why would he go to Tennessee? They're not gonna beat Bama, they're not gonna beat LSU, and they're not gonna beat Georgia. So why
they just beat Alabama?
They
beat LSU.
They're gonna beat them next year, bro. They beat Bama, but they're not gonna beat them next year. They're not gonna beat them moving forward.
The Tennessee team that just beat Bama?
That's
the Tennessee team that's competing.
They're not gonna beat them
They
again,
competed. They competed.
Yeah, they did. I said they competed. They competed.
Bro, okay, bro.
But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is, bro, it's a lot of other kids bro. It's not even just him. I bought just that one player, but there's a lot of other kids that go to smaller schools because they want to play. They want to play, bro. It's different, bro. They want to play and they want to be a difference maker, bro. Like you go to these big.
So why do the best players from all across the country leave the West Coast to go play in the SEC? Because it's a different game of football. It's a different
game of football.
It's not much of them.
The top two quarterbacks in this year's class,
bro. The SEC is the best conference in college football.
Are not Dylan Raiola and Julian Sain. Neither one of them are staying on the West Coast.
They're playing in the SEC.
That's a fact.
They're going to the SEC.
They are.
Nico's going to the SEC. Malachi's going to play for
you talk about the top quarterbacks in the nation, though, bro. Like you don't need a top quarterback in the nation to win. You don't. Look at Georgia. Did they have a top? They had a JUCO bounce back that walked on. What do you mean,
bro? He was a
bro.
He was
bro. You talking about one player? I brought up that one player, and then y'all talk about quarterbacks, bro. I'm just brought up that one player just because. Bro.
I'm just talking about best players. Period, bro. They're not staying.
Rutgers starting quarterback was a 4-star game.
Cali had trouble keeping them in state, let alone UCLA and USC.
They like any great player in California, they literally migrated over.
They literally left. They just started going back to USC and UCLA because
they just started being good again.
Riley.
They started being
That's the only reason why they're starting to stay back in Cali. But before that, they were all leaving. That was USC.
But I say it's both though, bro.
Von Thibodeau went to Oregon. Justin Flo went to Oregon. Like they were leaving the state. At the end of the day, the best player, you couldn't even keep the best players in state. Let's be real.
Just like New Jersey with Rutgers. Nobody that's good from Jersey is gonna play for Rutgers.
Jersey does do a bad job at
exactly.
Jersey does a terrible job at recruiting.
Pacheco with the Rutgers
every year the top players, the top players from
they're leaving the state of New Jersey, bro.
They're leaving the states to go to the SEC and bigger schools, bro. Bigger brands. Especially with this NIL. You forgetting that NIL is a big deal. I bet you right now I make more money at SEC than I do at SCSU.
You did
exactly.
Like,
come on. You forgot about
NIL. But NIL is a big thing. I'll be forgetting about NIL because I'm not making no NIL money. So I'll be forgetting all about that. I'll be honest with you. But
come on, man.
Man, look. You don't need these top players to win games, man. You done seen it, bro. And like I said, bro, I'm standing on what I say. And when we see it happen, we're gonna go back to this. I'm standing on what I say. If these smaller schools get put up into these big Power 5 conferences, I feel like they're gonna be able to compete. I feel like they're gonna bring in the recruits and they're gonna be able to do that. And remember, I said this. We're gonna go back to this. And remember, I said this, bro, because I wanna make it known, bro. I've seen it. I want to make it known, bro. I've seen the players that go to both of these programs, and I know for a fact that these smaller schools can compete. All they need is the line. That's it.
All right.
The lineman is the biggest thing.
All right. Well, let us know in the comment section what y'all think about that, man. It got pretty heated a little bit with our first topic, man. Let us know what y'all think about the fate of the Pac-12. Is it fading away? Are other teams going to join it to keep it relevant? Or is the NCAA football going to turn into 4 mega conferences? Let us know what y'all think is going to happen.
Y'all think the Pac-12 could ever be like not a Power 5, or would it always be considered Power 5?
I think it'll always be a Power 5 because of the name of it. Like, it's the Pac-12. It's one of the relevant conferences. Is it one of the best conferences? No, I think it's the 4th best conference, honestly. Behind the
I don't know.
ACC?
I might take the Pac over the ACC.
No.
Nah. Going into next year, no. But last year, yeah. Going into next year, no. Because Florida State's actually good.
Here's the thing. The only way they stay Power 5 is they keep the big names of Oregon and Washington. If they lose the big names, then it's another minuscule conference at that point. So like that's the key of keeping it a Power 5 conference. If they lose them big names and your best schools are SDSU and them, you're just Mountain West Part 2 at that point. But yeah.
Well, SDSU not in there yet. But what about Arizona State? Like niggas like Arizona State.
Hey, all right. Moving into our next topic, we're gonna talk about, in our opinion, the most overrated team going into the 2023 NFL season. A team that got a lot of hype during the offseason. Like, we want to know who is the most overrated team going into the 2023 season. Dino, I'm gonna let you start this one off, bro.
Oh, you will let me start. Oh,
yeah. You already got it going, so I'm gonna let you keep your momentum going, bro.
I bet. I don't know if this one's gonna be shocking to y'all. I really don't know what y'all gonna think about this, but man, my choice is the most overrated team is the Buffalo Bills. And the reason I got them as the Buffalo Bills is really just because they always get ranked so high. To me, the Buffalo Bills are like Notre Dame. They get ranked so high in the early season. Everybody think that they're going to do good and everything, and then they flop at the end of the season. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't really see them add to what they got. I don't really feel like they added. They lost their running back, so they really don't have too much of a good running game. They never really did have too much of a running game. But they do have a pretty stacked roster, which makes you think that they're going to be one of those top teams that they're definitely going to be able to compete in their division for sure. They're in the toughest division in my eyes, but I'd still see them coming third in the division. I'm going to be honest with you. We know who their star players is. We know all their star players. That's me. I'm going to be honest. That's me. But we know who their star players is. We know Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen pretty much run that offense. They do have the inconsistent Gabe Davis, which I wish he could. I feel like he could be a number one if he was very consistent, but he's not. They added the tight end, another tight end, which they really didn't need. So I don't feel like they helped their offense too much. They lost their best linebacker. So I really don't think the Bills got any too much better on this offseason for them to be in the division that they're in. And everybody still thinks that they're like the 4th ranked team to make it to the Super Bowl. I just don't see it. So that's my most overrated team in the league right now.
Khalil, you go ahead, bro.
My most overhyped team going into the season is the Detroit Lions. Right now they're favored at +1. They're favored at +145 to win that division. I mean, I don't know what gave Detroit all this hype. They haven't made any super big moves. They did lose the leading touchdown scorer of the year last year in Jamal Williams. They did trade away Dre Swift. We do draft Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama. Hopefully he pans out. We don't know what he's going to be. He had some up and downs in college, so hopefully he could be more consistent in the NFL. You do go out there and get a David Montgomery who's been up and down in the NFL as well. But that defense was ranked like 29th last year. They didn't make any super big moves. You did use a draft pick on Jack Campbell from Iowa. I think it's a pretty good draft pick. I don't think he's a game changer or a game wrecker or anything like that. But I think he's to be a solid linebacker. But for me, honestly, I still got the Vikings in this division. I don't know why, since the Vikings lost Dalvin Cook, like they just going to fall off. Like Kirk Cousins, for all the ups and downs Kirk Cousins is, you know he can win some games, especially a lot of 1 o'clock games. He's gonna win them.
That's true.
You got
That's true.
arguably the best receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. You have the Bolitnikoff Award winner and Jordan Addison. I like KJ Osborne. They have a solid offense. So from that standpoint, I still got the Vikings in this division. I think people are putting way too much stock into the Lions.
Hey, don't forget they also drafted Branch from Alabama at safety, and they also added C.J. Gardner-Johnson in free agency. So I mean, they still got some improvements to make, but the Detroit Lions, I can agree with that. They do got a little bit hype. I mean, they only won like 7 or 8 games last year, but I think it's the Dan Campbell like hype train, and who knows?
I feel like the issue is like everybody's hyping up the Detroit Lions when they got them favorited. Everybody's hyping up the Chicago Bears because they got Justin Fields. Hopefully, he takes the next step with DJ Moore and everything they added. But we forgetting like the Vikings won, I think 13 games last year. Like this is a pretty good football team. This is a battle-tested football team at the end of the day. These other teams haven't been here. They haven't done it yet. So from that standpoint, I'm riding with the team that's been there.
I mean, the Vikings were kind of frauds. The Vikings were kind of frauds last year, though. Let's be real, bro.
They won close games at the end of the day.
They won 10 of their wins.
Frauds, bro, but I don't really think they're frauds.
They were frauds,
but
bro.
I ain't gonna start, but I don't think they're frauds, bro.
10 of their wins last year came from 1 score or less. Like, it's like, bro, what we talking about?
A win is a win.
No, I know a win is a win, bro. Stop, bro. Okay, a win is a win. Okay. So you win most of your games by 10. You win 10 or more games by 1 or less score. You go into the wild card round and you got Daniel Jones come into Minneapolis and do whatever he wants to that defense. I'm not hearing none of it. They were frauds last year. I don't care, bro. I'm not hearing it. Don't do that.
Listen, it's a hard thing to win in the NFL, especially close games. They did it.
I understand that.
They did it,
bro. Most of the games were come back from behind against bad teams. Like, let's not forget about that Colts game a week before Christmas. 36-0.
Bro, it don't matter what team that is, bro. It don't matter what team, bro. Coming back for that first down in the NFL is still impressive. That's still impressive.
But it's like that Colts team was trash, bro. They won they won like 3 games last year, 3-4 games.
They put up 33 in the first half against
because the Vikings were that good of a team.
And y'all take this how y'all want, however you want to take it. Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback in that division.
I can agree with that.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
It's not Jared. It's not Jared Goff.
Yeah, I could go for that one.
Kirk Cousins, yeah.
And it ain't Justin Fields yet.
Not yet. But hey, for my pick, man, for the most overrated team going into the 2023 season, I got the Buffalo Bills as well. All right, so about Josh Allen, I never really was a big fan of Josh Allen. Like he's big, he could run. Like he'll probably try to run you over or hurdle over you. He got a strong arm. But my thing about him is he can't get over that hump. He does not show up in important games when it comes to winning. Yes, he had a couple playoff wins, but it came mainly off his defense. Now, I would say his best playoff effort was against the Chiefs in the 2021 season in that divisional round where Mahomes just pulled it out. Pause. But still, at the end of the day, Buffalo, they're in a very tough division right now with the Dolphins and the Jets. Patriots, they hit or miss, but you cannot count out Bill Belichick and that team. You got to respect that. That defense will always be top 10 any year. Bill Belichick is at the helm. But again, they can't get over the hump, man. One, they never upgraded their pass rush. Von Miller's coming off a torn ACL season. They need to get better on pass rush. They need to address their missing a whole at linebacker. They lost Terrell Evans in free agency. He's in Chicago right now.
They have got Matt Milano.
They do. Like he's a great linebacker, but they need another inside linebacker.
Yeah, they need more, bro. They
need more, bro. I'm telling you. I mean, their secondary is straight. I fuck with their secondary for real.
You talked about game records, bro. He a game record.
For sure. Yeah. But they have better Super Bowl odds right now than the Cincinnati Bengals. And this is coming from a team that has never beat the Bengals. They wasn't going to beat them in the regular season. I mean, barring DeMar Hamlin doesn't get hurt, I think the Bengals were going to win that game. And then they lost to Cincinnati in a divisional round. So it's like, I don't really see Buffalo. Like, they got a lot of hype. They're going to win 10 or more games this year. But they're just not that team. It's like, they're going to win. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. Like, no, they're not. They should not have better Super Bowl odds than the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, I don't get it. And they needed a number 3 receiver. They barely have a number 2. Gabe Davis is he's too inconsistent, in my opinion.
They got Jay Shorts.
They got Justin Jordan from New Jersey. They shout out
Man,
New
go
Jersey.
ahead.
But he
Go
like
ahead.
They got Jay
fifth or sixth.
Shorts.
He like fifth or sixth
Stop.
on the depth chart, bro. He like fifth or sixth on the
Stop.
depth
They
chart.
they on my overhype, but come on, bro. Come on, bro. They got Jay
Stop.
Shorts.
I understand that.
Come on,
I
bro.
understand that. Also,
Justin
they
Short
got
ain't keeping no DB up.
chill out. Hey, but also they got a running back by committee right now. I mean, they got Damian Harris, James Cook, Latavius Murray, but it's like those aren't really running backs. Like those aren't RB1s. Like Latavius Murray hasn't been an RB1 in years. Damian Harris, he was really was an RB1 last year when he was in New England. He was sharing carries with Ramondre Stevenson. So it's like really they got a running back by committee. And then Dawson Knox, man, spare me about all the Dawson Knox hype about him being a top 10 tight end. Like he's barely top 10 tight end. Stop. Don't start with me. They have rookie. They just what?
I was just
You
gonna
think
say
he top 10?
Nah, I'm not even gonna say like I'm not gonna mention
Not even
Dawson
top
Knox.
10?
But Dalton
He's barely
Kincaid,
top 10.
the next
Not
Travis
even number
Kelce.
10?
I'm saying I'm about to talk about Dalton Kincaid.
Oh,
Let me speak. Let me speak. Thank you. If Dalton Knox don't step up, Dalton Kincaid from Utah that they drafted in the first round can take his spot. But they need Dawson Knox. That could be a good tight end duo. But Dawson Knox needs to step up. He got a lot of drops. I mean, he had 500 yards receiving last year and under 50 catches. But still, it's like we need more. But that's just my overrated team going into the 2023 season. Mainly because of Josh Allen. I'm not a hater. I'm just saying like it's just he can't win the big ones. Like he can't win the big games. He can't do it when it matters the most.
Here's the thing, though. I ain't gonna lie. Another thing about the two tight end situation. At first, I liked it because I was like, yo, bro, a two tight end set with Dawson Knox, who's a pretty good receiver, and the rookie that they just brought up,
Dalton Kincaid. Yeah.
Dalton Kincaid, yeah. Bro, that's nasty. But to run a two tight end set, you got to be able to run the ball. And they don't got that.
Well, you could flex Kincaid out if you want to.
I was about to say you could flex Kincaid the same way you could do a Kelce or a Kyle Pitts or anything like that. I feel like Kincaid's gonna be in that kind of role.
You think he's gonna be in that role that early though? Like this early?
Yeah.
Well, he can be.
Yeah.
He can be.
Don't get me wrong.
I
think he's nasty. I think he was definitely.
I think he's gonna be better than Dawson Knox.
He was definitely top 2 in the draft for tight end for sure.
Yeah.
But
they got him out of still. I'm not gonna lie.
They did.
Yeah, they did. But I just feel like they was Gucci with Dawson Knox. They didn't need him.
He was not that good.
All right, I got a question for you.
Anymore. What's up?
Nobody mentioned the Jets. What do y'all think about the Jets?
They were actually second on my list. They were second on my list.
I'm gonna be honest. You want to know who was second on my list? And y'all can't call me biased. I don't care. You know exactly who was second on my list.
You gonna say the Cowboys, ain't you?
Oh yeah.
I knew they were say Dallas Cowboys.
They're my honorable mention for sure.
America's team.
Yeah, America's team. Don't make me bring it
2023
up.
NFC East champ.
Facts. Yo,
Dave, if you could throw right in that little corner in the left corner, throw a video of Dak throwing a couple picks in practice.
Bro, everybody throw picks in practice, bro.
They can YouTube that if they want to. All right, let us know in the comment section what y'all think, man. Let us know y'all most overrated team or overhyped team going into the 2023 season. We gave our picks. Let us know y'all's. Let us know if we tripping or not either about our teams that we picked. But hey, moving into the next topic, we're gonna take with the NFL. We're gonna talk about, in our opinions, our top 5 offensive line units going into the 2023 season. Now we're gonna be do rankings going here forward. We're gonna start with the offensive line position group. Khalil, I'm gonna let you to start this one off, bro.
All right, I'll start it off. So we doing top 5 offensive line units. At number 5, I got the Baltimore Ravens with Rodney Stanley, Ben Cleveland, who they just added this year, Kevin Zeitler, Tyler Lindenbaum, who's coming into his second year. He was great at Iowa. So hopefully he gets feet under him, start making some noise in the league. And Morgan Moses, who is a solid right tackle. He's getting up there in age, but I think he's still solid. At number 4, this offensive line took a step back last year, but I think they'll still be good, and that's the Cleveland Browns with Jedrick Wells, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin, and a center. I don't remember their center name off the top of my head. Pochich, yeah, Pochich. He didn't have too good of a year last year, but this is another offense. This is a unit who is played together last year. They're going to be together again this year. So I think they could make some noise, and I think they could regain what they had, especially with Nick Chubb running the football, protecting Deshaun Watson. At number 3, I got the Detroit Lions with Panay Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Haliputa Vital, however you say his name, he got
Vitae.
that big name. Vital.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got Jonah Jackson and they got Taylor Decker. They have a pretty solid offensive line, especially at the tackles and with that center. So I think they'd be good as well. My number 2 is the reigning Super Bowl champions. You got Creed Humphreys, you got Joe Tooney, you got Trey Smith. That interior is nice. That they got, I think, the best interior in football. And then you add Juwan Taylor and Donovan Smith, who was coming from the Bucks. He won a Super Bowl a couple years ago with them. They did lose Orlando Brown. I think that's going to be a big loss, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a loss for this team because of the other guys that they have up and down that offensive line. They all battle tested and veterans on that offensive line. And my number 1 is obviously the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, you got Jason Kelsey, you got Lane Johnson, you got Lando Dickerson, you got Jordan Mailata. You did lose Isaac Seumalo, so y'all looking for a guard right now. Y'all got a competition right now with Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, and Jack Driscoll. So we'll see who come out of that. But the core 4 that y'all do have is second to none, in my opinion.
Hey, all right, I'm gonna go next, man. That's a pretty solid list. I ain't gonna lie.
I like that list.
But I like that list a lot. All right, so for my top 5 going to the 2023 season, at number 5, I got the Kansas City Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champions. You got Donovan Smith. You added him from Tampa Bay last year. I mean, he left a lot of sacks last year. He led, I believe, 6 sacks last year. Joe Tooney, pretty good left guard. Creed Humphrey, very outstanding center from Alabama that they got. You got Smith at guard as well. You got Juwan Taylor they signed from Jacksonville. Taylor just needs to show me more. He didn't show me too much in Jacksonville last year to get paid that much money that the Chiefs paid him. But again, they lost Orlando Brown. So they had to split that goal. And number 4, I got the Baltimore Ravens. This is a really good run blocking offensive line. Let's not forget that. Let's not discredit that, man. They got running back by committee. Their quarterback can run. And they just brought in Tom Macklin from Georgia. He's a new offensive coordinator. But let's not forget about one of the best left tackles in the league and Ronnie Stanley. Like, let's be real. Tyler Linderbaum at center is a really good center. I mean, like, come on. You got Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses. You got Ben Cleveland as well at guard. Like, they had the fewest penalties in the NFL last year as an offensive line unit. All right, hey, at number 3, I got the Cleveland Browns. They regressed a little bit, and in my opinion, the last couple years before this year, they were the number 1 offensive line in the NFL. But they regressed a little bit. But this line, when healthy, they're all returning. And when healthy, they are one of the best units in the NFL. That's why Nick Chubb is so successful. But I mean, even without this line, I believe Nick Chubb still could be successful. But that's beside the point. The tackles are outstanding. The interior is outstanding. And their Pochich, the center that they got, he's really good. Like, this line is really good. It's
He didn't have too good of a year last year, but
he's gonna bounce back. I think he's really good. I mean, he had a year last year, but who player doesn't have
worst offensive lineman.
Oh, and that's not a bad thing. Like, come on, Wyatt, Jedrick Wills, Joe Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin. Like, come on, what are we talking about? And number 2, got the Detroit Lions. Now, this is an underrated offensive line that a lot of people don't talk about. So I'll put him at number 2. Their center, Ragnow, very underrated. Not even underrated. People know that he's one of the best centers in the NFL. Panay Sewell, he's going into, I believe, year 4, coming out of Oregon. I mean, he's really good on that offensive line. I mean, a lot of people were confused when the Bengals passed on him, but, I mean, he's shown what he can do in Detroit. Taylor Decker, got Jackson at guard, got Vitae at the other right guard. I mean, they helping out Jared Goff, and they're going to help as much as they can over there to protect Jared Goff and get those running lanes open. Again, this is one of the most underrated offensive lines in the NFL, and they really performed last year very well. Number 1, I got the NFC champion, Philadelphia Eagles. All right, I said only weak spot on this offensive line is the right guard, but they like Khalil said, they're having a competition camp right now with Cam Jurgens and Jack Driscoll. But hey, come on, let's be Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, Lane Dickerson. I mean, Mailata wasn't all-pro last year, but he was one of the best tackles in football. And those other 3 guys, Dickerson, Kelsey, and Lane Johnson, they were all pros last year, first or second team. So again, I mean, a lot of people say the reason why Jalen Hurts is so good because of offensive line, but let's be real, what good quarterback did not have a great offensive line at this point in career? Like, let's be real. So those are my top 5 offensive lines.
I just feel offended that you put the Chiefs, who allowed no sacks, to the best pass rush in the NFL last year.
Listen. I knew you were gonna bring that up too. I knew you were gonna bring that up. Yes, the Chiefs allowed 0 sacks in the Super Bowl last year.
To the best pass rush and to the best pass rusher.
Listen, I agree with that. Put that in there too. Okay, I agree with that. But going into the season, I think they're like either number 4 or number 5, and I feel like the Ravens are slightly better than them. So I got Chiefs at 5. But that's my list. Dino, you gotta go ahead and do this.
All right, so for my list, at number 5, when healthy, the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. They figure it out with Zach Martin and figure out what his issues is with his contract and trying to get him. Why you make that face? Because I picked the Cowboys?
No, not even because of that. I just want to hear your reason. I really just want to hear your reason.
As much as it hurts.
Please.
As much as it hurts. When they get him back and they figure out what they're gonna do with his contract, because y'all know he's asking for more money and all that. Now, y'all know it's not even an argument. He's the best guard in the NFL. For sure. 100%.
When, a couple years ago?
Nah, he's the best guard now. Give me somebody that's better.
He is the best guard. He is the best.
He's the best right guard. All right, go ahead. I still respect him. He's a great
when
guard.
Tyron Smith is healthy, he plays great. And it's not really about the names that I got. I'm gonna be honest. It's more about Mike. It's more about Mike. It's more about Mike Solari, bro. It's more about Mike Solari. They have arguably the second best O-line coach in the league. They're gonna have a good rank. They're gonna have a top 10, arguably top 5 ranked O-line at all times, bro. They was ranked number 6 last year. I think they're gonna make. I feel like, bro. I'm telling you, bro. When healthy, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be good. They've always been good.
Not great.
How many times has the Cowboys had a bad O-line?
They're not top 5 good.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they're bad.
They're not top 5 good. But that's your
opinion. I think when healthy going into next year, they're my 5th rank. They're my 5th rank going into next year when healthy. If they could stay healthy and they could get it right with their payment issues and everything else, Mike Solari is gonna have them straight regardless. And they're gonna be able to protect Dak, and they always been protecting Dak, other than when he ran and broke his ankle. But I'll move on to my number 4 is the Cleveland Browns. A lot of y'all, the Cleveland Browns was on y'all list too. I mean, I don't really gotta say more than what y'all did. We already know what they got on their O-line. They had a slouch here last year, but I feel like coming back this year, they're gonna be ranked as one of the best O-lines. They're gonna protect Deshaun Watson and make them running holes real easy. At number 3, I got the Detroit Lions. Again, that was on y'all list too. I mean, we know what they got: the Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Penny Sewell. Which we know what he does. I hope he can just keep it up, bro. He always fighting somebody, man. Bro. It's like every game that man get into a fight, bro. Like, don't miss no games, man. Just keep playing hard, and he's gonna end up being a real good tackle to move forward for real. Like, he's gonna
a top 5 tackle at his position.
And I think he's gonna keep moving up that, bro. At 2, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, I'm gonna repeat it. Yes, they gave up 1. They didn't give up none. They gave up no sacks.
This man hate the Eagles so much. He hate the Eagles so much, bro.
I know.
He's so excited to say 0. The Saints didn't make the playoffs last year. Like, come on, what are we really talking about?
What are we doing right, bro?
Derek Carr trash.
What are we doing right now, bro?
Dino, continue, bro.
Somebody's mad.
Somebody's mad, bro. He just went straight to slandering his team.
Dino, go ahead, bro.
Listen, it's not that they gave up no sacks. It's that they gave up no. It's who they gave up no sacks to. That's the thing that we're forgetting. The best pass rush in the NFL. That's who they did that against, not just anybody.
I understand.
Man, I'm gonna say it though, and y'all know me. I'm the one with the hot takes. You feel me? And I don't think Orlando Brown is gonna be as big as a loss that everybody thinks he's gonna be, especially with the replacement that they bought in. With the replacement that they brought in,
don't think so.
I don't think so. Everybody thinks that they have a big loss, but I'm sorry, bro. Donovan Smith is pretty good, if you ask me. I like what he got, and I like the other players that they brought in with Juwan Taylor too. Like I feel like they're still gonna be a top team with a top O line. That's why they're at my number 2. I'm gonna
Of course,
be
it's Andy
honest.
Reid.
And
You got
they,
Andy Reid at the
yeah,
helm, of course.
you know what he does. And I don't even gotta say who number 1 is, man. Y'all know who number 1 is. Khalil. You want to say who number 1 is, Khalil? Hmm?
I already
Hmm?
said it. Who's your
All
number
right,
one? I
yeah.
said my number one.
My number 1 is your number 1. It's everybody's number 1.
Everybody's number 1.
It's everybody's number 1. Come
That's
on,
cool.
man. And I'm gonna make my bold prediction. I think Cam Jurgen is gonna make that. I think he's gonna make the start. I think he's gonna be that guy.
He is.
That's in my eyes. That's from what I've been seeing from all the reports and stuff that he's looking really good. It's still a competition, but in my eyes, I feel like Cam Jurgen's gonna take that. But that is my top 5. I'm pretty sure every team that I had on there, other than the Cowboys, you guys had. But
Yeah,
that's just
pretty
Dino.
much.
That's
I'm
just Dino
just
thinking different. You feel me?
That was a little stretch. You know, you trying to be different. That was a little stretch, but
It's for the fans.
to each
'cause
their
I
own.
wanna
It's
I
to each
want to
their
see
own.
what the fans think, bro.
Who cares about what the fans think?
We gonna have.
Who cares about
we
what
gonna have
the
that
fans
one?
think?
Yeah,
We
it's
gonna have
about
that
your
one
logic.
delusional. We gonna have that one delusional
Listen.
Cowboys fan under the post hyping me up. That's gonna be my best friend, even though I'm gonna tell him to
Nah.
kick rocks. Word, because I'm an
Listen.
Eagles fan.
Here's my thing. You got Zach Martin, yes, one of the best guard in the NFL. But besides that, I don't really think they have much. Trey Smith, he's going into the second year. He had an okay rookie season. Terrence Still, he's an okay right tackle, but I don't think he's a game record at right tackle. And Tyron Smith can't stay healthy, and his best days are behind him.
That's all I'm saying, bro. So that's what I said. When he picked that Dallas Cowboys, I was like, but you're going strictly based off of 2 names that were former All Pros. Well, Zach Martin was All Pro, but
what
you're
did
going
I
off
say?
you're going off of Zach
What
Martin
did I
and
say?
Tyron Smith, bro.
What did I say?
That
What did
offensive
I
line
say
is
though? I
not
said
top
it
5.
wasn't because of the names. It wasn't, and that's what y'all think. It's
It's
not.
because of the
Because
starting
O-line
helmet.
coach. Yeah, you gotta be the starter in the helmet.
Yeah,
100%.
nah.
Yeah.
It's America. It's because it's America's team, okay? It's because it's America's team. You heard? Throw the
All
X
right,
up.
man. Hey, let's know in the comment section who y'all think y'all top 5 offensive lines in the NFL is. We all gave our picks. We all pretty much had the same number 1. So we obviously had one outcast in this segment, but he want to be different. So we gonna let him be different. We gonna let him rock.
You know who it was picked by. If it's an outcast, you know who picked it.
It's gonna most likely be him. Moving into the next topic, we'll talk about the FIBA World Cup. We're gonna talk about who do we think is the biggest threat to Team USA in FIBA World Cup. Now, there are some sneaky teams out there. There are some really good teams out there. And let's be real. Last time we seen Team USA in the FIBA World Cup, they finished in 7th place. They were led by Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, Donovan Mitchell. That team left a sour taste in all of America's mouth. But it's like, we'll be pause. Anyway, continuing. They didn't do so hot in the 2019 FIBA World Cup. So this is their year to bounce back. But who honestly is the biggest threat for them from seeing gold? I'm gonna start this one off. I got a little bit of a hot take. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I think this is a really sneaky good team that could definitely give Team USA a run for its money. Not only Team USA, Spain and France as well. I'm going to say Australia. They finished 4th in 2019.
I don't think that's a hot take.
They finished 4th in the 2019 FIBA World Cup. They placed 3rd in the 2021 Olympics. They got the bronze medal. They've been progressing when it comes to basketball. Now, Ben Simmons is not going to play. I don't care about Ben Simmons. He's trash. But besides him, you got Daniels, Josh Giddey, Patty Mills, Joe Ingles. You got Landale. They compete and they can play hard. They also got some bench players that can shoot as well. This team is very sneaky. Right now, they're power ranked as number 4 according to FIBA power rankings. But still, regardless, like I know we got the Spains. We got the Team USA, obviously. You got the Slovenia, got your Serbians, you got France. Australia is up there with those teams. They can play. And don't forget about Greece as well. I forgot about them. I forgot Giannis is playing. I don't know why I forgot. Giannis is playing too. But I just personally
both Antetokounmpos are playing. Both Antetokounmpos.
All three are playing.
3.
It's 3? I didn't even know there was 3.
It was actually 4, but yeah, 3 of them are playing.
There's
4?
4?
3 are playing. It's 4 brothers.
There's 4
all 3 are playing.
Yeah.
There's only one Greek freak.
There's only one Greek freak.
But other personally, that's my pick, man. I got Australia being a sneaky good team. They're the biggest threat to USA reaching gold this year. Khalil, who you got, bro?
The team I got is Team Canada. Like, did we forget who Team Canada is putting out there this year? With RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, SGA, Zach Edey, Jamal Murray, Corey Joseph, Dwight Powell. Like, this is Lou Dort. Like, they have a solid squad as well. They probably got the next level. They have probably the second most NBA players on their roster. I think just their star power and the players that they have players that can defend, they have players that can rebound, they have players that can play make. So from that standpoint, I think it's a well-rounded team when you look at them. Just from defensive wise, you got Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, Zach Edey. You know what Jamal Murray did. We just all watched him in the finals. SGA, I don't even have to mention him. RJ Barrett, he's a little hot and cold, but when he gets hot, he's one of the hottest players out there. You got Dwight Powell, who's a good stretch three big man. So I think they could give Team USA a run for their money.
See, this is my thing with Canada. Like, they have a lot of NBA players, like you said. I think they're second most NBA players. But can they all actually mesh and play together? That was a lot of things that articles were talking about as well. And that's the thing I'm concerned about as well. Like, can they actually play together? Because they were my team at first, then I changed them. I was like, like right now they're ranked like 6th in the FIBA power rankings. That's outside of your top 5, even with the second most NBA players on a roster.
Well, my thing is with this, like I said, with this team, they have players that have specific roles, even in the NBA. Lou Dort, 3D player. Dylan Brooks, D&3 player. You have your playmaker in Jamal Murray and SGA. You have a third somebody who could play the 3 in RJ Barrett. You have a Corey Joseph coming off the bench. You have a Zach Edey who's 7'2" that can protect the rim and rebound. You have 7'4". Yeah, look at that. Dwight Powell, who's 6'10", who can stretch the floor, shoot, and play defense. So from that standpoint, I just think they have a good enough, well-rounded enough team that they can compete if they put it all together.
I respect that. Like I said, that was gonna be my pick as well, but I changed it. But Dino, you go ahead and this one off, bro.
We probably would have ended up with all 3 the same picks because that's still my pick. Canada is my pick. I feel like Canada is one of the biggest threats to win it all in general. I mean, if you go back and look at USA's roster, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about who's going to give USA the biggest fits. If you go back and look at their roster with Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese, like y'all know who's on there, Brandon Ingrams and Cam Johnson. That's cool. But if you go look at Canada's roster, Jamal Murray, you got Shai, you got RJ Barrett, you got Dylan Brooks. These are players. This is a better starting 5 than the USA starting 5. If you was to put this team,
that's debatable.
I don't know, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
That's
put
debatable.
a starting 5 like this on LA without LeBron and all of them on the Lakers, and put the USA starting 5 on the Clippers without all of their players. Who do you think gonna come out? Just looking at just by names,
on paper,
bro. On paper.
I'm taking the players on the Clippers. Not the player. I'm taking the team on the Clippers. I'm taking them. I'm not gonna lie.
On paper, I'm still taking LA. I'm still taking the Lakers. On papers, I'm still taking the Lakers, bro. These is a couple all-stars and a couple all-pro players you're talking about. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and then we named him Zach Edey. I mean, I love that somebody's trying to go play for the USA to boost his draft stock because he's entering the draft next year at 6'4". Nobody knows where he's gonna go. They talked about second round, but
7'4", 7. That's a whole foot.
7'4". Hey, that's a whole foot.
No, but you know what we didn't bring up? 7'4", 303 pounds. Okay? This ain't and Victor. Bro, he's about to heal. No, I'll find it funny. I see him post up for 20 on him.
And here's the thing. I think he's made more for the European, for the international game than the NBA game because the international game is a lot more physical.
It is. That's a fact.
It is.
Different reps, different ways to look at it. I feel like Canada really I feel like they have a squad, bro. So Canada is my choice.
We finna see, man. Like I said, FIBA World Cup starts soon. We excited for it. Like I said, it's going to stretch until I believe the beginning, first or second week of September. So let's see, man. Again, we all room for Team USA, obviously, But they got their work cut out for them. It's not going to be easy for Team USA to get to the goal. Again, they finished 7th place in 2019. This year, they're looking for redemption 4 years later. But moving into our last topic, we're going to briefly touch on Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz this Saturday. We're not going to really stay on this topic too much. We're going to briefly give our predictions and give our thoughts about this fight. Khalil, who you got in this fight? Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz.
I've honestly been going back and forth with this one. And I don't know. I think my pick may be a little biased, but I'm going with Nate Diaz in this fight just because of his background. Nate Diaz is a brawler. He's from Stockton. Like he put a whole label on a city as a city of brawlers. Him and his brother, like he go out there and fight. If you ever watched him fight in the UFC, you know he's gonna go out there and fight. So for that reason, I'm going with him. But like when I think about the fight, like the outcome and the aftermath of this fight, I really don't know. I think this is a must-win for Jake Paul, though. I'm not gonna lie. If Jake Paul want to keep his relevance of what he's been having, he has to beat Nate Diaz to keep that. If he don't,
that's facts.
I think his stock goes down a lot.
Hey, what you got, bro? What you got, Dino?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm honestly gonna go with Jake Paul. As much as I don't want to, I want Nate Diaz to win, but I feel like Jake Paul is gonna win. Nate Diaz is, I mean, yeah, he could fight. He really could. He could fight for sure. But I mean, looking at the years, bro, Jake Paul has been pretty much making me myself. I don't know how many other people, but he's been making me look pretty stupid. I'm gonna be honest with you. I bet against him every time. It don't be working for me. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't betting. I am not betting against him this time. I'm sorry.
You ain't the only one, bro. You're not the only one.
Nate Diaz.
I mean, I made some money off that Tyron Fury fight, but
Nate Diaz is pushing 40. Jake Paul is our age. He's 26. I don't have much. I don't even like watching Jake Paul. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like watching Jake Paul, bro. It's just I can't, bro. I don't like it. I just don't like watching the guy. I'm sorry, I don't, bro. I can't take him serious. And then he goes and knocks people out. So it's like, what can I can't say nothing.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, I want to fight you, but it's like, bro, I want to fight you, but you might knock me out too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He's definitely becoming a good boxer over the time.
Yo,
more fights,
bro,
he's becoming more of a legit boxer.
He is, bro. If he actually if he can stop all the talking and stuff and be a fighter, just be a fighter, I might want to watch him more, bro. But
I mean, he has to because he has to sell the fight. I'm gonna be honest, Nate Diaz not selling this fight at all. He really do not care. Jake Paul is trying his hardest to sell this fight.
But that's pretty much almost everybody that fights them. No, not even that. That's everybody that fights Jake Paul, bro. Nobody sits there and talks to him because the way they see it, they're like, yo, bro, this guy ain't. And then they get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
booty in the air, Nate Robinson.
Yo, bro, booty in the air. Booty in the air, man.
Hey, for my prediction, my heart is telling me Nate Diaz. Like I said, I watched him in UFC for years. I like Khalil said, him and his brother put Stockton, California on the map, man. They are brawlers. They got hands. They are scrappy. They can go down. But I gotta go with Jake Paul, man. He's been becoming a better boxer over time. I'm not saying this is rigged, but I just see him winning this fight. I just see him. I don't know what it's just telling me he's gonna win this fight, man. I mean, like I said,
it's rigged for sure.
Hey, it might be just a money fight, but I've went against Jake Paul a lot, and he's like made me regret going against him. I'm not gonna lie, because like, darn, man, like I just lost money because this but he's becoming a better boxer. You gotta respect it. You watch him in the ring, you watch him at practices, you see videos of him training. He's actually committed to this boxing stuff. He's doing his thing out there. He's putting on. So I'm gonna go with Jake Paul, but again, Nate Diaz, I hope you don't get like cleanly knocked out or get embarrassed on national television. What's your question?
Please, Nate Diaz.
My only thing is, and this is the reason why I kind of put Nate over Jake, is because the MMA fighters that Jake Paul beat, knocked out, whatever, they were wrestlers, they were grapplers, they wasn't strikers. Nate Diaz is your definition of a striker when it comes to MMA games.
That's what I'm saying. He got hands.
Compared to the other two that he knocked out. Don't get me started on them. But yeah, so That's the only reason why I'm kind of giving him more of a nod. Even Anderson Silva, uh, he wasn't he was a good striker, but that wasn't his go to in fighting. So I'm gonna give it to Nate Diaz in this one.
But how I feel about the fight in general, I'm low key tired of these MMA fighters fighting these like boxers or celebrity boxers. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, bro.
That's getting annoying. It's nice for the sport. Like it's like, oh, it gives us something to watch. Like summer's about to end. I mean, fall about to start. Cool, but it's like honestly, Jake Paul, bro, you need to fight a real boxer. Like Nate Diaz, not no slouch. I'm not saying he's a slouch, but I want to see Jake Paul fight a real boxer. Like I'm tired of him fighting these MMA fighters or watch people or celebrities. I'm tired of that. Like fight a real boxer, bro. Like get in the ring, lace it up, tie it up with a real boxer, not a 40-year-old man who's at the tail end of his MMA career.
My thing is, like, we gotta remember who Jake Paul is. Jake Paul is an entertainer. He wants to sell fights. He wants to make money. Yeah, you could go out there and put him up against one of these boxers who was on his level, and I think nobody really gonna care about it too much. Or you could put him out against a big name boxer who is way above him, and he gets knocked out. So like that's why it's a give or take because of the names that he's bringing into fight. You know, Nate Diaz come with his own fans. Tommy Fury because of the last name. That was the only good boxer. He had a good record, but it was the last name because he's a Fury. But you got the Tyron Woodley, who was a champion, Ben Askren, who was then Nate Robinson, who was a big basketball player. So he bringing in names more than actual boxers. That's why I like the celebrity boxer thing. People don't take it serious.
No,
But here's
a real boxer, bro.
Another thing that you said a long time ago, Lil, is kind of like the Tyson Fury situation. It's kind of like what are you gaining from beating him or losing him? You beat him, yo, you just beat a YouTuber. You lose, yo, you just got knocked out by a YouTuber. Like on some truthfully, like I could honestly see that. If he's asking real boxers for fights and they're probably saying no, that's probably the reason why. I'm not wasting my time boxing him. If I'm one of them top boxers, I'm not wasting my time boxing him. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not. If I'm any of them top guys, I'm not wasting my time boxing you. Why would I do that? You have no name. You have no real name. You got the name that you make for yourself as far as entertainment. But as far as boxing, you ain't got no name. I'm not boxing you. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. If you see it, if they see it the way that you said before, Lil, that's just all the fact. What am I getting from this? A check? That's it. All I'm getting is a check. If you knock me out, I look terrible. If I knock you out, I don't look good. It's
man, at the end of the day, it's about a check.
I think like
that's all I hate
guys
about
that have been fighting them, it's about a check. It is about a check. Especially for guys like that, is just to get their name out there because they're probably not going. Like, if you're not a big boxer, if you don't like, you got to be real with yourself at a certain point. You know if you're going to compete at the highest level, big pay per views, or you're going to be an undercard on a pay per view. So if that's the case, I might go out there and box Jake Paul and I'm going to be the B side, but I know that's going to sell some pay per views. I'll probably make a couple of M's off it. So that's the only reason why I can see boxers going there. But at the same time, if you're a boxer and you're serious and you think you can still compete at a high level, you're trying to work your way up within the boxing ranks, yeah, I would not take a fight like that with Jake Paul.
Yeah, for what? It makes no sense.
It's facts. All right, well, man, that's the end of our episode tonight, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in or listening in, whatever platform you're listening or watching on. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. We're almost at 100 followers on Instagram. Make sure y'all follow our Instagram. Link to our Linktree will be in the video description. All our socials are right here in the bottom left corner.
Oh yeah, so our Patreon we started, and just for as little as $2 a month, you could do your part in supporting us and joining our Patreon. But not only is our Patreon good for support, it's good to interact with us. If you want to interact with us personally, talk to us, argue with us, any way like that, our Patreon is probably the best way to go. On top of that, we're gonna be dropping a little bit of merch, some hats, some shirts. So if you want discounts on the merch or you want a chance to get some free merch, our Patreon is the best way to go. And we appreciate any type of support or anything that you guys could give for us. We appreciate it all.
For sure. That's love. That's facts, for real. All right, Lil, what you gotta say?
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you for all the support we've been getting, all the love we've been getting. We got over 100 views on our video within the first day. So, I mean, y'all keep showing love. We appreciate the interactions. We want to keep trying to bring more content, more posts on social medias and stuff like that. We will be bringing on guests too. So if you think you got what it takes to talk your talk, Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. DM us on Instagram, man. See if you want to be a guest. But hey, again, we appreciate y'all tuning in or listening in. Catch us on Tuesday. New episode dropping Tuesdays and Fridays. Unless noted otherwise or stated otherwise. Like, comment, share, subscribe. The For the Horn podcast is going to take off, but we can do that without y'all support. Thank y'all for watching, listening in. We out.
Yes, sir.